I'm not gonna do it. They're not gonna think it's cool. I'm not gonna... What is up, you guys? It's your boy Jack Kubanek back here today with another video. It's been a week since I posted my college reaction video, and well, actually, I don't want to reveal. If you haven't seen the video, go watch it now. A link will be in the corner. You're no longer welcome here. Leave. That video is pre-calculus. This is calculus. Leave. Okay, so now that it's just us guys, as you all know, I was accepted into Cornell University, and under that video, the comments section was just overflowing with people just like, stats, 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 stats. This is stupid. And part of me was like, who cares? But the other part of me was fiending for some clout, so here's that video. I'm going to be revealing my stats. So I want my YouTube videos to not just be videos, but to be incredible works of art that are going to be included in the Western canon. So we're going to start this video like a novel. So here's my like forward dedication thing. To all the people who asked me how I mispronounced Duke. I didn't mispronounce Duke. I mispronounced one of their programs, and looking back on it, it was a pretty easy program to pronounce, but I pronounced it wrong, and it was very embarrassing. Now for the table of contents. Okay, so we're gonna start with my GPA. My cumulative GPA to this point in high school is a 3.79. All my low GPA kings, comment down below. I'm here for you boys. So, to begin with, I'm just going to look at my freshman year, up through my senior year, the courses I took, what I got in them, and then maybe just give some insights in what I've learned from that experience. So, freshman year, I took basic ceramics, basic drawing, biology, drug and alcohol awareness, geometry, Latin, Spanish, and world civilizations. So my school doesn't offer all that many honors or AP classes, so this might seem like a kind of weak course load, but it wasn't based on my school. Like, we don't offer AP till your junior year. But I definitely didn't work very hard. I had a lot of B's. I got a B- in basic ceramics. That teacher really did not like me. She actually kicked me out late in the trimester and said that my project had exploded in the kiln and that I had failed the class. So I walk out with tears in my eyes. And then 30 minutes later, my homie comes down and is like, oh yeah, never mind, they said you passed, we're all good. So, you know, everyone makes mistakes like that, and it's important to have an upward trajectory. However, I would not recommend, if you're a current freshman, just get on your grind now. It'll save you a lot of headaches later. You know, it's better to have a 4.0 all 4 years than an upward trajectory. If you are like me, you're a low GPA king, you know, you didn't do well your freshman year, it's okay. It's not over for you. You can still get into great schools. Just get on that grind, start working hard. So my cumulative GPA for freshman year was 3.64. Sophomore year, I took debate, health, honors algebra 2, honors chemistry, journalism, mock trial, public speaking, Spanish, and world civilizations. Now, not all of those were full year course, some of them were more electives, but I definitely started to kind of discover a lot more of my passions. But nonetheless, I still didn't do too great in the GPA department. I got a B+ in world civilizations that sunk me because world civilizations is English and history combined, so it was 2 B's on my transcript. So I ended the year with a 3.67 GPA, which was an improvement, but not a big improvement. So my junior year was when I actually started to get serious about school, start to work hard, study. Not that I wasn't doing those things, but I was a little lazy my first 2 years of high school. I'll be the first to admit. But my junior year, I kind of started to grind a little bit more. I took AP Chemistry, AP English, AP United States History, honors pre-calculus, journalism, mock trial, music theory, and Spanish 4. So that was an overloaded schedule, which I had before, but it basically means you have 4 less study halls and 4 more class periods a week. So it was a very full schedule, but I was able to get a 3.9 GPA, which definitely was a big boost above my previous years. I actually had all A's in all of my classes, except for AP Chemistry. If there's any AP Chemistry struggling kings, I know that AP exam is coming up. You got this. You're gonna kill it. And if you don't, I'm right there with you, so don't worry. But yeah, I struggled big time in AP Chemistry. I studied a ton, saw no results. It was incredibly frustrating at times. But that's one piece of advice I'd like to give you all is take classes that challenge you in high school. Even if they're going to bring down your GPA, I struggled so hard in AP Chemistry that I learned really great study skills that I wouldn't have learned from maybe some of my English classes or things that I was like better at naturally. Try to take classes that you're going to have a tough time with. Colleges will see that. Colleges want to see that. And it'll just make you a more well-rounded student and person overall. So now we're going to get into my senior year. For those of you who don't know, colleges want your first quarter grades, or it's called like a mid-year report. So for that meant sending my first trimester grades. It'll mean something similar for you. And they do look at your final grades, but it's really important that you do well like the first trimester. You can maybe get some B's later on in the year. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's not really considered for admission. So for my senior year, I took AP Calculus AB, AP English Literature and Composition, AP Human Geography. I did an independent study on state government, International Model United Nations, Journalism, Mock Trial, and Physics. So I took 3 APs my junior year, 3 APs my senior year, which I was fine with. I mean, I maybe could have swung AP Physics my senior year, but after AP Chem, I just didn't want to. But I'm really happy with my course load currently. And for the first trimester, I got all A's, my first like 4.0 that I could show on my transcript, which was really exciting and kind of completed the upward trajectory that I had worked on throughout high school. And so, as I said, that leaves my cumulative GPA to 3.79. My school doesn't weight GPAs or give out class ranks, so I don't know either of those numbers, but I wouldn't be very high in either. Probably the biggest weakness in my application. So next we're going to get into everyone's favorite part of the video, my SAT scores. I'm just going to preface by saying what everyone else says, SAT scores aren't everything, but definitely work hard, don't sweep them under the rug. So while they're not everything, work hard and do the best that you think you can do. So my junior year, October 11th of 2017, I took the PSAT. I'd never taken like a standardized test before after like elementary school, and I didn't prepare at all, so this was really kind of like a diagnostic test for me. I got a 1320, which was a 690 in reading and writing and a 630 in math. In May of my junior year, and people who were in AP classes, I would recommend this, I took my SAT subject tests. Although one thing I will say is that AP tests and SAT subject tests are very different. If you do well in one, you're not necessarily going to do well in the other. So I took the chemistry subject test, math 2, and US history. I ended up with a 720 on chemistry, a 670 on math 2, and a 680 on US history. None of those were very great scores. I actually didn't end up sending any of them, but it just shows like even with subject tests, you need to give yourself time, you need to prepare, you need to study. All things that I didn't do, and I ended up with less than ideal scores for some of the schools that I was shooting for. Also, I would definitely not recommend taking 3 subject tests in one sitting. It almost killed me. I did terribly on math too because I just got bored halfway through and started filling in random answers and just thinking about what I was going to get for lunch after the test. So definitely, I would recommend just take a max of 2. 3, you're not really going to do well on all 3 of them. You might as well just split it up and take all of your tests on separate dates. So in June of my junior year, I took the SAT. I had really grinded, put a lot of time in, and this was actually my first time taking the SAT, which is pretty late for a lot of people. Just about all of my friends had already taken the SAT, but I really just put a lot of time in and decided to kind of put all my marbles on this one test, which is not a great idea. You might want to start earlier than I did. But thankfully, I ended up getting a 1570 on my first try, which I was very grateful for. That meant an 800 in math and a 770 in reading and writing. I was super pumped to be able to raise my SAT score by 250 points from the PSAT to my SAT in just one try. So if you want to learn how to do that too, be on the lookout. I'm going to post a video soon. I didn't have a tutor, didn't pay any money for any books. I just used free online materials and self-studied. So subscribe if you want to see that video coming soon. Also, I got like a 16 on the writing portion, but I think schools are starting to realize that that's kind of BS anyways. At least that's what I whispered to myself while crying myself to sleep. When my senior year rolled around, I knew I needed to retake my subject tests, so I decided that I was going to take the US history and the literature subject tests. I studied a lot for the US history, like sunk a lot of time into studying. I didn't even open the book for literature, and I ended up with an 800 in US history and with a 780 in literature. So I was very happy with both of those scores. Some advice I would give just right off the bat is U.S. history requires a lot of studying. Literature is very similar to AP Lang and AP Lit. If you're good at those, you don't need to study as much, and it's just kind of difficult to study in general. And then on subject tests, you should take them. I know that some schools make them optional, but they're really important. If you have the means to take them, if it's not too much of a financial burden, I would definitely recommend taking subject tests. They are considered an admission. I'll also probably post a video on how I studied for the U.S. history subject test, because I also didn't have a tutor. I used free materials, so be on the lookout for that as well. So next we're going to get into my AP scores. My junior year, as I said before, I took AP Chemistry, AP English Language and Composition, and AP United States History. So I would recommend taking AP tests if you have the financial means to do so. It really can't hurt. Some schools, like I know Princeton, asks for your AP tests to see them, so they're considered an admission. I don't think they're a huge deal, but you might as well take them, and they can actually save you a lot of money in the long term as far as testing out of college courses and stuff like that.
And your parents won't have to bribe the crew coach as much. Haha. Oh, current events joke. Oh, take that, Olivia Jade. Like and subscribe.
So for my junior year, I ended up getting a 5 in AP United States History, a 5 in AP English Language and Composition, and a 4 in AP Chemistry. My senior year, I'm yet to take my AP tests, but I've already gotten my decisions back, so they don't really matter as far as my application goes. And lastly, I guess we'll touch on the ACT. I took the ACT twice, didn't submit it to any of my colleges. I took it for the first time in December of my junior year without ever studying, got a 32. I took it again in June of my junior year. Had studied a lot, but took it at Cornell actually, because I was visiting Cornell on the weekend that they administered the test. So I actually took the ACT in Ithaca, at Ithaca High School, met some lovely people, but once again I ended up with a 32. What really sunk me both times was science. I don't know how people do well in the ACT science section. That is like a foreign language to me, but that's besides the point. I think what you can glean from that is that you should take the SAT and the ACT at least once, see which one's better for you. I remember actually thinking that I would be better at the ACT, but when it came time to actually take the test, I found out that I was much better and much more prepared to take the SAT. So take both, see which one suits you better, and then work really hard on that one.
Alright guys, I finished editing the video, and Abby and I are out here on a run to blow off some steam. Because let me tell you, filming and editing a video on an iPad takes a lot of effort, takes a lot out of you. But this has been my stats. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. I got lots of new college-related videos and content coming out, so make sure to like and subscribe. Tell your friends, comment any suggestions you have for new videos, and I'll catch you next time. Peace. Woo! Ow.